It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. So one thing that has been brought to my attention on the latest update to our banned list is that both of us back in Flaming Eternity agreed that pole position should be banned due to just the confusing game states that it can cause, as well as just how silly some of the infinite loop rules are in Yu-Gi-Oh! So to avoid situations where infinite loops can be caused just simply by activating the card or by just a game mechanic, which can happen with this card, both of us have agreed that pole position will be banned. Cyberdark Impact was released November 15th, 2006. This set introduced the Cyberdark archetype, a series of machine-type monsters that can combine to form a boss monster, Cyberdark Dragon. It is unfortunately a high-rarity archetype, and even then it's not great, so we won't be seeing it in the Progression series. However, there is a low-rarity archetype that could wind up seeing play, and that is the Chain archetype. It is a spell and trap focused archetype that focuses on building very high chain links to be able to use powerful effects. So I'll go ahead and go over some of the cards in the set. There are 2 new level monsters, Allure Queen and Dark Lucius, neither of which will wind up seeing play. The biggest card that will impact our meta by far is Snipe Hunter. So Snipe Hunter is a 1500 4-star summon that you can discard a card, then you target a card on the field, you roll a 6-sided die, and then the card gets destroyed unless you roll a 1 or a 6. So it has a 2 in 3 chance to destroy any card on the field, face up or face down. This is not once per turn. This is a common, so it will see play. We should get multiple copies of this, and this is going to enable some pretty powerful synergies. And then we have the barrier statues. There's 1 for each attribute. It prevents special summons of any attribute other than itself. They are small, so they are easily attacked over in battle. These will not be good now, but once we have special summon heavy decks later on in the Progression series, these can be very difficult for decks that are special summon heavy to deal with. And then moving on to some of the spells, we have Instant Fusion. Instant Fusion is going to be very powerful both now for some shenanigans with Metamorphosis as well as just fusion monsters in general, but it will be at its best once we get to 5D's era, as this is a free extender into Synchro Summons, as well as just extra deck plays in general. Chain Strike is the big payoff for the Chain archetype. You activate this as Chain Link 2 or higher, and then you get to inflict damage to your opponent equal to 400 times the chain link number of the card, and you can't activate it if there are multiple effects with the same name in the chain. This is the only time, this duel and the next duel is the only time we'll be able to play more than 1 copy of Chain Strike, so I would not be surprised if one or both of us plays Chain Burn, and this is one of the reasons why I imagine that Secret Barrel got banned, because Secret Barrel is a very good burn card. A Mystical Wind Typhoon is a spell and trap removal that can only be activated as Chain Link 3 or higher. I don't think it'll see too much play outside of the chain decks. We have Justy Break, which is a very powerful card that could wind up going in the Elemental Hero decks. This is Mirror Force for normal monsters. This is quite powerful in the Elemental Hero decks as well as just normal monster-focused decks. And then we have Chain Detonation, which is something that we'll see play in the Chain decks. This does 500 damage to your opponent. If it's activated at Chain Link 2 or 3, you shuffle it back into the deck. If it's activated at Chain Link 4, you return it to your hand. So this is going to be our impromptu secret barrel, most likely. And then we have Accumulated Fortune, which is Pot of Greed if you activated as Chain Link 4, and it's not difficult to get to such a high chain link if you have your deck built around it. And then we have Vanity's Call as well, which is a negate for the entire chain if it is Chain Link 4 or higher. I don't think it'll be seeing play, but it is a pretty cool concept. At the rare slot, we have Vanity's Fiend and Vanity's Ruler, which are special summon floodgates that will see all kinds of play later on in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Now, the only other super noteworthy card that we will be looking for is going to be Black Horn of Heaven at the rare slot. So what this does is it is a summon negation when your opponent special summons exactly one monster. This is going to be very powerful against extra deck plays once we have more summoning mechanics, and this is a card I'm going to be looking for multiple copies of. At the super rare slot, there's not a whole bunch of interesting stuff. There's the Cyberdarks, which are not very good even if we do get them. We have Cyber Shadow Gardna, which is an interesting card. It is a trap monster that effectively becomes Sakuretsu armor. However, you can only activate it during your opponent's turn. So it's a body, and there are some ways to abuse this, but it's almost functionally Sakuretsu armor. And then we have Storm Shooter, rather, which is not a great card, but this is the first Zones Matter card. Unfortunately, it's on a 2 Tribute 2300, which is not great. And then the Ultras are not particularly interesting. They're the Allure Queen, the Dark Lucius, the Cyberdark Dragon, and Cyber Ogre 2, which we really don't want to see. So we're going to be gunning primarily for the Black Horn of Heaven and the Snipe Hunter and the Chain Pieces. However, we did get a new tournament pack as well. Champion Pack 1 was released on November 11th, 2006 to local game stores and has some very strong reprints in it. At the common slot, we have a My Body as a Shield reprint. We have King Tiger Wanghu's first reprint. This card is banned, so this will give us more of a chance to get what's in here. Final Countdown, Mudora, Stealth Bird, Emissary of the Afterlife, and Threatening Roar are all pretty powerful reprints. This is a pack that Demon may gun for, and this is his only chance to open this pack because we get Champion Pack 2 on the very next set, and with Emissary of the Afterlife at common, he will be going for this. At the rare slot, we have Big Shield Gardna, Limiter Removal, Solemn Judgment, Reflect Bounder, Enemy Controller, Pot of Avarice. These rares are absolutely cracked. And we're going to want to gun for this pack because these are some of the most cracked packs, and the rarity has gotten a little bit better on these packs. I believe instead of every 3 packs you get a rare in the champion packs, it is every other. The super rares are now 1 in 12, and the ultra rare is 1 in 48. All of the holos we don't want to see in progression specifically because these are all rarity bumps of common cards, but we're going to be gunning for these rares. These are incredibly powerful. And with the release of Cyberdark Impact came the September 2006 Forbidden and Limited list, and this is a big update. A Chaos Sorcerer goes to 0, so we will only be able to play 1 copy. A Cyberstein, which, as far as I know, neither one of us have. That goes to 1 copy, like we were getting more than 1 copy anyway. Thousand Eyes Restrict, Tsukiyomi, Snatch, Seal gone. Magician of Faith back to 1, Spirit Reaper to 1, Future Fusion immediately getting limited, surprising no one with the Chimera Tech shenanigans. Knock to 1, Gravity Bind to 1, that's going to stop a lot of the stall decks. Ring of Destruction to 1, Ultimate Offering to 1, then some semi-limits, Exiled Force, Giant Trunade, Reckless Greed, and Wall of Revealing Light to 2, Reflect Bounder, Emergency Provisions, Lightning Vortex, and Drop Off to 3, so this will have some impacts on our deck building. Alright, so we have 24 packs of Cyberdark Impact. We want to actively avoid foils if possible, because there are very few holos in this set that are worth playing at all. I want to say there's maybe 1 or 2, and they're both fringe. So we're going to be looking for the common and rare cards in this set as much as possible. So let's go ahead and get started with our first pack. We got a Snipe Hunter, that's the best card. We also want to pick up playsets of all the barrier statues if possible. And there is an ultimate rare, it is Dimensional Inversion, which is not good. It's way too situational. And there's a Black Horn of Heaven. That's one of the cards we're looking for. We also got Accumulated Fortune. If we can pick up 3 of those, there is a Chain deck out there, but I think it's playable until Chain Strike gets limited, and even then, it's kind of shaky to play without Secret Barrel. And there's another Black Horn of Heaven. I don't think this is a card we want to play 3 of. 2 is the sweet spot, but this is really good later on when your opponent commits to a big extra deck play. That is also our second Snipe Hunter. And there's a Miraculous Rebirth. The reason why I didn't bring this up previously is because Miraculous Rebirth is a Chainlink 4 only Monster Reborn, but the decks that are playing cards that get to high chains aren't playing too many, if any, monsters normally. And here's an interesting rare. It is Rampaging Rhinos. So this can move itself to an unoccupied adjacent monster zone, and then it goes up to 2k if it attacks a monster in the same column. This will see play later down the line once we get to Mech Knight. And there is another ultimate rare. It is Cyberdark Keel. That is one of the Cyberdark pieces. We would need to be able to even consider playing this, pick up some Duelist packs that reprint these later on, and I just don't think the archetype is worth playing. That is our second copy of Justy Braid, which could wind up seeing play in Heroes specifically. And there's our third Black Horn of Heaven. That is our playset. Pretty happy to see those. I don't know if we'll want to play 3. It really depends on if Demon makes a deck that's special summon heavy. Just Synchro and Xyz spamming will become a thing later on, and it will be nice to have those in the collection. That is a rare as well, so it's not guaranteed. And there is our first copy of Instant Fusion. Now, Instant Fusion will get limited as soon as it becomes relevant, but this will be a very powerful card going forward. It's 1,000 life points to just be a free extender. And there is our first Ultra. That is Allure Queen level 7. We do have the entire Allure Queen line. It's just not worth it. They're not worth the payoff whatsoever. We did get another Accumulated Fortune. That is our second. We need to have 3 of those if we want to play any sort of chain-based deck. We are almost full on Barrier Statues. We are full on Justy Break now. That is our second Instant Fusion. I don't think we're going to play it now, but that card gets so much better once we have extra deck mechanics to play with. And there's Vanity's Fiend. That's an important card going forward as well. It won't be good now, but this card is backbreaking against any deck that's super special summon heavy. And there is a Cyberdark Horde at super rare. We're just missing Cyberdark Edge, and of course we need the Dragon too to be able to play that, but even if we get it, it's just too inconsistent. Those are constructed cards. We did get our third Barrier Statue of the Drought, so we're missing 1 Stormwinds to have the full playset. Still half the box to go, so I do expect that it will show up at some point. And there is our first copy of Chain Strike. This is a common, and we are over halfway through the box. If we get 3 of these, I think we can still consider playing Chain Burn for at least 1 episode, but I don't know if I'd want to play it this episode, because if Demon thinks about it, I would not be surprised to see Death's Wombat in his side deck, which is a hard counter to Chain Burn as it prevents all effect damage. And there's another copy of Chain Strike. We also got a super rare Cyber Shadow Gardna. This is one of the few interesting super rares in the set. It is a monster that you can or a trap monster rather, that you can activate on your opponent's turn, and then it effectively trades with any monster that battles with it. Now, this is particularly powerful if you have any sort of a card that statically increases the attack of monsters, because then it makes it just impossible for your opponent to attack into it. And I just noticed that's our first copy of Chain Detonation as well, which is going to be very important if we want to play Chain Burn, considering that we don't have a lot of the cards that we need to make the Chain Burn work, just because Secret Barrel is banned. We do have some other burn cards we can play, but that's a big one, and that's one we won't be able to play at all just because Demon did ban it. And there is Cyberdark Dragon at Ultra Rare. If we get all of these, it's still not worth playing. It will be very amusing if we get them all. We did get another Chain Detonation, though, which is important for the Chain Burn deck. And I also just noticed that's a second Vanity's Fiend as well. And there's the third copy of Chain Strike. So those are on lock. We do need a couple more cards out of this set. We have almost everything. There are just a couple things that I wouldn't mind seeing. And there's another Allure Queen level 7. We did get another copy of Rampaging Rhinos for the future. There is our last copy of Instant Fusion. I think most of the rest of these we have. We're also just getting to the point in the box where we have playsets of everything at low rarity, and just the high rarity stuff does not matter too much here, but we shall see. Another Allure Queen level 5 would be amusing as well. And there's another super rare. It is Trojan Blast. I don't even know if this card does anything good. Activate only when an opponent's card effect shifts. Yeah, that's pretty awful. If it triggered on your card effect, then maybe you could just do it with some creature swap shenanigans, but this card is way too situational. There's our third Chain Detonation. That was one of the big cards that we were looking for, and I think that might actually be the last common. No, there's one other common we're looking for. We still only have 2 Stormwinds, and Stormwinds is one of the important ones. The 2 important barrier statues are the Fire and Wind ones, because they're the least common attribute in the game. Alright, so only 3 packs left. The only thing that we're really looking for at this point is a copy of a barrier statue of the Stormwinds. Everything else we possibly want we could have. We got another Cyberdark Dragon. That's amusing, but it's not a card that we will be using at all anytime soon. Then for a second to last pack, can we get a Stormwinds? That's a 3rd Rampaging Rhinos. That's pretty good also. That's one of the few just even good cards in this set, dare I say. And then for a very last pack, can we get a Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds in the close? No, we only have 2, but we got 3 of everything else. We got playsets of all the important commons. I think for Cyberdark Impact, this is about as good of an opening as we can get. So I will go ahead and figure out what we are playing for today's duel. I tried so hard to make Chainburn work, because this episode and the next episode are the only chances we'll ever have to play Chainburn, because after that, Chain Strike goes to 1 copy, and it's going to stay at either 1 or 2 copies for the rest of time. So I have decided to run the hero list back. The reason why I'm not able to play Chainburn is not because of the lack of the chain stuff. It's actually because of the lack of burn spells. With Secret Barrel Band, I had to check to see what burn spells I had. I have 0 Tremendous Fire, which is a great starter for this deck. The only good substitute I could find for a Tremendous Fire was Meteor of Destruction, and Meteor of Destruction can't be played if your opponent's at 3,000 life points or less, which is a problem for that deck. I'm also missing a bunch of other key components, and I think both of us are going to have Wombats in our sideboard for Chainburn. The idea that I had first was to play a Chainburn deck that sided into 15 monsters, to play like that aggro deck that I played before that was running Skill Drain and Geometria, but I just don't think it's good enough. So I've decided to go back to the heroes. With the 3 polymerizations and the 3 hero signals we have now, I think this deck is going to be a lot more consistent, and it's probably the most powerful deck that we have. If it's not the most powerful, it's capable of spitting out some of the craziest boss monsters out there. So I'll go over the card by card. We have Beast King of the Swamps, Double Goddess with the 3rd Eye, and King of the Swamp as our fusion subs. King of the Swamp doubles as a poly search. Most of the time, now that we have 3 polys, it should just be used as a fusion sub. 2 Wildheart, 1 Sandgen, 1 Witch of the Black Forest, 1 Rottweiler. Now that we have 3 polymerizations, we can start to play these Rottweilers. I'm only playing 1, because if Demon is on the Chainburn deck, like he might be, there's no way this is going to be destroyed by battle, and it's just an 800 body, which is no good. And then the normals, 2 Avian, 2 Burstinatrix, 3 Clayman, 3 Sparkman. That rounds it out for the monsters. For the spells, still on the card destruction, specifically because this lets me fill up for Miracle Fusion. I took Future Fusion out because Future Fusion doesn't let me use fusion subs with it. It does set up the graveyard for other plays, and Future Fusion might come back because we're going to get access to Elemental Hero Electrum once we get the McDonald's packs. And both of us are going to have access to the McDonald's packs, it's just a matter of how many we'll have. Then we have 1 D-Fusion, double E Emergency Call, triple Miracle Fusion, 1 My Body is a Shield in the main, because I've been finding this deck is a little bit soft to removal, since very few, if any, of the hero monsters have battle protection. If we do see Demon on a lot of removal, we will bring in the 2nd copy. 1 Painful Choice to set up for Miracle Fusions, triple Polymerization, 1 Pot of Greed, 2 Our Righteous Justice, had to bring a 2nd one of these in from the board now that Harpy's Feather Duster is banned, and then 1 Reinforcement of the Army as a 3rd E Emergency Call. Then for the traps, we have triple hero signal, which lets us keep board presence even when we're behind, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Ring of Destruction, and 1 Solemn Judgment, rounding out the main deck. For the side deck, we're on triple Death Swombat. I highly suspect that Demon will try Chainburn in this episode. If he doesn't, then that's okay, but we need to have this to be able to play through Demon's burn spells. Since Chainburn, in the main at least, maybe in the side he might play some, but in the main doesn't really have a way to out this. So if he doesn't think we are on this, then we could just take a game from him completely by surprise. Second My Body, double Prohib, a third Our Righteous Justice. Putting the 2 Skyscrapers in the board, we will bring these in if our opponent is not on Hero, because we have seen Demon on Hero. 2 Smashing Ground, 2 Macrocosmos, and 2 Sakuretsu Armor, rounding out the side deck. And for the extra, we have Aqua Neos, Stark Neos, Flame Wingman, Triple Mariner, Double Necroid Shaman, Phoenix Enforcer, Rampart Blaster, Shining Flare Wingman, Tempest, Double Thunder Giant, and Wild Edge. Pretty excited to run this back in the post-ban format, since we don't have to deal with Raigeki anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get your game on! So this is an important episode for several reasons. One, we have the introduction of the champion packs, which are some of the most stacked tournament packs that we have had so far, and they're going to be stacked for a while. Second, this is the first game of the post-ban format, which removed a lot of board wipes. And then the third, that we haven't discussed until now, are the Collector's Tins. The 2006 Collector's Tins came out, and they have some pretty strong cards in them.
Oh yeah. So that's definitely going to be important, which is kind of funny that we have such powerful stuff as prizes for what is arguably one of the worst sets in the game. I still personally think Power of the Duelist is worse than Cyberdark Impact, but it's definitely a pretty close fight on that one.
Cyberdark Impact had a lot of cards that impacted the format later on, just not now.
Right. That's a good start.
That is a good start for you. Not good for me. Alright. Well, good luck, Duelist.
Alright. So draw. Standby main. Well, I guess I might as well run this out now. I'm just going to activate Clock Tower Prison.
There's your Clock Tower Prison.
And I'm going to summon out my Elemental Hero Sparkman.
Here we go again.
And then I will set 2 and pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. Set 3 and pass. Also during standby, your Clock Tower Prison gets a counter.
Oh, right.
I don't know why that triggers on opponent's standby, but whatever. Go!
Alright, draw. Standby, main. You know what? Bottomless is banned. I can do that. I can take the risk. I'm going to sack Sparkman for Mobius.
I'm going to chain Ring of Destruction to the Mobius.
Alright. At least it clears your back row, though.
And then you get a hero signal.
Alright. I guess I'll pass.
Draw for turn. Standby, main. Let's go ahead and flip up a Clayman.
Alright.
I'll make Burstinatrix as well.
Okay.
Then I am going to activate Our Righteous Justice and eat your Clock Tower Prison and your middle set.
Alright. In response, I'm going to chain the middle set, which is Ring of Destruction, and we'll hit the Burstinatrix.
Sure. Then I'll proceed to the battle phase, and I'll poke for 8.
Right, and I'll take it.
After combat, I'll set 1. Go!
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Perfect timing. Let's run out ourselves a Wild Heart.
You have a Wild Heart.
And take out the Clayman.
7 in.
Hey, look at that. For the first time, our life points are actually different. Main 2. I guess I'll set 1. And I'll pass.
Draw for turn, standby, main. I will activate Miracle Fusion.
Ooh, alright.
Miracle Fusion is going to make me a Rampart Blaster. Which, by the way, did you know this card has an errata?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really silly. I don't know why this card has an errata, but it does.
Well, the reason was because this was actually what it was intended to be, but they screwed up when they printed it, because like the video games actually have the effect correct. It's supposed to only attack. It's supposed to only be able to attack while you have nothing, and if you do, it won't let you attack directly. It'll only let you attack the monsters.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn.
All right, standby main. I'm not sure I can do anything. I guess I'll just set one and pass.
Draw for turn, standby main. I am going to run out a Wild Heart.
Okay.
I will proceed to the battle phase. I'll crash the Wild Hearts.
Okay.
And then I'll attack for 1,000.
And I will Sakuretsu.
I will cry. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby main. That does not actually help me a lot, but let's see what we could come up with here. I'm gonna run out a Sparkman.
You got it. I'm sure what you want to do
Battle.
is smack me.
Yep.
16
Time for the stun gun.
16 in.
And I'll pass.
Draw for turn, standby main. Set one and pass.
Alright. Standby main. I will run out of Sangan.
You got it.
Battle.
You
see
get
what
a
you
witch.
got.
I'm gonna take the 1,000 off of Sangan so you can think about your turn, but I'm gonna grab. What is my best chance to get out of this? I think my best out is to grab. I think I need to grab King of the Swamp here.
Alright.
And then the 1,000 happened.
Yep.
Alright.
And I'll pass.
Alright, deck. I think any hero will do. Draw. Standby main. I'm going to go ahead and pitch this King of the Swamp to grab Polly. Then I'm going to set a monster and set a back row and pass.
Okay. Draw. Standby main. Well, look at that. I have a tutor too.
Sure.
Right. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I have a good idea of what's going to be said, but I still need to do this anyway. Let's see what you got.
I have Mirror Force.
Oh, okay.
The thing that irks me is you haven't normaled yet, which is scary.
I think I will add King of the Swamp to my hand.
Yep. Thin that
Main
deck.
phase 2. I will set a card and pass.
Draw for turn, standby main. What is the best way to go about this? I think I gotta go for it. Polly?
Alright.
I'm gonna make Flame Wingman.
Okay.
Proceed to battle phase.
Alright.
21 into your set.
Sure. So you'll get my King of the Swamp, so I'll take 5.
250. Or 500, yeah, you're right. I will pass.
Draw. Standby main. Alright. Let's go ahead and activate ourselves a Miracle Fusion.
Sure. Miracle Fusion's fine.
Alright, so I will banish my Sparkman and my King of the Swamp, and let's go for Shining Phoenix Enforcer.
Shining Phoenix Enforcer, huh?
And his attack is bumped by another 600, so he's actually at 31.
Sure.
Alright.
You're not gonna like this too much. I'm gonna defuse your Shining Phoenix Enforcer.
Ooh.
Please go back to the extra deck.
Well, he's not going back to the extra deck, but he'll flip.
Seems okay.
Main phase 2, I will set one monster, and I will pass.
Draw for turn. Standby main.
I forgot defusion's a thing. That's going to be a problem.
Does this do it? Can't believe I'm actually doing this. I'm gonna emergency call.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I'm gonna get Sparkman.
And you're going to contact Fuse.
Yeah, I'm gonna normal Sparkman and contact out.
Okay.
I never thought I would be contacting out for this, of all things. Shining Flare Wingman.
Okay.
Go to battle.
So that's 1, 2, 3. Whew, that's a lot of power.
I'm just gonna hit the... Oh, can that not be destroyed by battle?
hopefully,
Yeah, Scooperino.
and yeah, it can't be destroyed in battle either, so.
Boy, I wonder how long we're going to play these hero mirrors, because they're pretty clearly our best decks.
Oh yeah. Right now, the heroes are definitely the best things we've got available to us, so.
They're probably going to be played for the rest of GX, but you never know with how crazy some of the sets get later. Standby main.
Oh yeah.
I am going to set a pair and pass.
Okay, draw. Standby main. Well, I guess we can start out with this card.
Seems okay.
Okay. Let's see. So let's start by activating Future Fusion.
Interesting.
Let's see. Who do I want to show off? I will reveal my newly received Elemental Hero.
Ah, so you do have a Thunder Giant. You must have got one out of the Jaden packs.
Yep.
Yeah, that card's pretty good.
Alright. Next, I'm going to... God, that's a bit of a push. That's a bit of a push, but is it worth it? Yeah, what the hell. Okay, so I'm going to special summon my Sidra.
You have a Sidra.
And I'm going to sack him for my Mobius.
Why?
Thank God. Alright. Next I'm going to activate H Heated Heart.
That's so
targeting my
good. That's so good.
So, 29 in?
I'll take 13. It's a Wild Heart.
Ooh,
Was kind of
okay.
hoping you would run out something
Main
like
phase
Sparkman.
I'll e-call here.
Wow, your hand was
Then the deck
cracked. Your hand was so cracked.
I think I'll add a Wild Heart to hand just in case.
Is this going to be big enough? I mean, that's not awful. Draw for turn. Standby main. I'm going to pitch this king. Go get Polly.
Okay.
Activate Miracle Fusion.
Ooh. Okay. Wild Heart. Oh, is that going to be Necroid Shaman, or is that going to be...
Elemental Hero Wild Edge.
Edge? Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, it outs the Mobius.
Yeah, true.
Get it out of there.
Alright.
Then I'm going to just eat the Future Fusion.
Damn, okay.
Set one. Go.
Alright, draw. Standby main. Ooh. I'm going to... one and pass.
Draw for turn. Standby main. Let's go ahead and just go to the battle phase. I'm going to just hit into this set.
Okay, that's my Witch of the Black
I
Forest.
mean, it gets you an answer. Possibly.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna...
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Go. This Wild Edge is not long for this world.
No, it is not. I'm going to run out my Exile Force.
Yep.
And your turn.
Draw for turn. Standby main. Set one. I really don't like doing this, but I do need to get in for chip damage at least. I'm gonna normal summon this Rottweiler.
Alright.
Battle phase. This is not why it's in the deck, but I need some kind of pressure. Go ahead.
Fair. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I really hope that 800 damage winds up making a difference.
That would actually be really funny if it did. Okay, so what do I want to do? I think I'm going to set one and pass.
Draw for turn. Standby main. Yuck. I'm gonna turn Rottweiler sideways and pass.
Standby main. That could be useful. Question is, will it be?
Oh, what do you have in here?
Let's see. Could you get well, okay, so if I pop the Rottweiler now, you'll get Wild Edge back to the extra deck, but you won't get anything else. Honestly, that's kind of for the best then. Alright, I'll run out Wild Heart and take out the doggy.
Sure, I get nothing back, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, because it has to have both.
Yeah. It's like Avarice.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like Avarice, which is really annoying. Draw for turn, standby, main. Set 1. Go. Yeah,
Alright,
all these back row that work on Wildheart.
Well, they won't be working on much anyway.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, granted, I just cracked that off the top, so... Baku, Ring, and my bot. Okay.
Ugh, I'm in so much trouble.
Should I try to push here? You know what? What the hell? Let's try it. I'm going to flip Magician of Faith, and I'm going to retrieve my Pot of Greed.
As if I wasn't already far behind enough. Yup.
There's one card that I'm looking at, if I could pull it. Nope. Okay, so I can do a lot here. I just can't finish this. Damn, okay. Well, I guess I can at least go for that, too.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm going to E-Call.
That's fine, because this is still coming in for heavy damage. Oh, you must...
Is this actually enough? Wait, 3? Okay. Might actually be about enough. I'm going to activate Polymerization.
Oh, is this a Thunder Giant? Yep.
Yeah, it's Thunder Giant.
Oh, you have Miracle Fusion too, don't you?
I don't have Miracle Fusion. I do have another Wild Heart, though.
So that's 57?
57.
Okay. I go to 1,000. I think...
Then I'll set 1. I'll pass.
I think I have to hit a 3-outer here. Hoop!
And I'm gonna ring for game.
Never mind, that's a 0-outer. Yep. Yeah, that hand...
that last hand was basically like, holy shit, because that's the thing. I was sitting here, I was like, okay, I have 3k on Wild Hearts. I was like, if I could pull King of the Swamp, that might get me into Shining Phoenix Enforcer, and that might be enough to push it over.
Wow.
But then I remembered that with E-Call and Ring, that's actually enough to finish it. So.
Wow, so bricky. Oh my god.
See, that's kind of the downside to the hero deck in general, too, is that you can either pull the absolute nuts, or you're gonna brick bad. There is, like, no in-between on that. And I'm not even saying that, like, to try to, like, soften it. I mean that as in, I've played this deck over the years, both in paper and in video games, and it has always been either blowout turn 1, or you're sitting there with a handful of crap.
Oh yeah, that's any sort of fusion-based deck that's going to happen. But good stuff. I imagine we're both probably going to be gunning for those champion packs, because those champion packs are something else. And we have another thing to discuss as well. One thing that we have to talk about are the 2006 collector's tins, and I think we have some other miscellaneous promos as well. So one special thing that was on the line in this duel is there were also the 2006 collector's tins, which had 6 pretty strong cards in them. They had the 3 Sacred Beasts, Elemental Hero Neos, Shining Flare Wingman, and Cyber Dragon. So you will get your first pick out of those 6.
Let's see. As much as a second Cyber Dragon would sound really awesome, I kind of honestly, I think I'd rather take the Shining Flare Wingman.
I figured as much. I already have one, so I don't need it, and I will very, very happily pick up a Sidra. So now we each at least have 1.
Right. Which kind of makes things a little bit more balanced overall, too, so...
So now the question is, which Sacred Beast do you want?
That's a good question, actually. Admittedly, as much as I would love to get a Haman, because I know I have a lot of continuous spells to work with for it, the fact that the chance to passing up a second Uriah is just ridiculous to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the second Uriah.
I'm gonna grab the Haman.
Figured as much.
And then that'll leave you with the Raviel. And
yeah, because I'm definitely not taking a Neos.
Well, I guess I'll be able to rock that secret rare Elemental Hero Neos. But we do have some additional cards to talk about as well. There were some media promos that you'll be getting. You will be getting a 5-headed dragon, a Dragon Master Knight, great cards by the way, and then you will be you'll have the chance to get one of the old Shonen Jump prize cards if you want. Because there was a Pharaoh Tour, and one of the big prizes for that was a copy of Shrink that you did not have to win an SJC to get. There's also Toon Dark Magician Girl, which is the participation card. You'll be able to get either one of those, and then that will leave me with the other one. So, would you like the fan service, or would you like the actual good card?
Let's see, so I have the Dragon Master Knight, I have the 5-headed dragon, which are all cool. And honestly, yeah, as much as Shrink is a decent card in itself, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take the fan service. I'll take the Dark Magician Girl, because I don't know, I like for some reason I just like the card. So and if Shrink comes back and bites me in the ass, then so be it.
Deal. Absolutely. But we have a big episode ahead of us next. However, I am going to mope in the corner and hopefully get to open the pack I want. You'll have an extra chance at it, but we shall see what happens. Either way, I'm looking forward to our next match. I can't believe I lost another week with these heroes. I think I might have to go back to the drawing board and look into playing a different deck. But unfortunately, we're back in the loser's circle on a critical pack because this is the only chance we'll have to open Champion Pack 1, and there's some really disgusting stuff in there. So I'm going to go ahead and spin the sealed product wheel again, see if we can get something good. Would really like to see... I'd be okay with just about anything except for more packs of Jaden Yuki. Oh, you stop right there. Oh, reprint set packs. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. We should actually see what reprint sets we have available. DB1 is gone, but I think DB2 is still around, because we can go back through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can get DB2. I think that's what we're going to go for. We're going to go for 3 packs of Dark Beginning 2. So 3 packs of Dark Beginning 2. Pretty excited to see what we can get. Hopefully we can get some good staples out of this. A Graceful Charity would be sick. This is one of our last chances to get it for a while. A Stein would be really cool, but let's see what we wind up with. We got a Needleworm. We got a Destiny board, too. That's actually some pretty cool stuff. So that's our first copy of Needleworm. I don't think we're going to be able to play Mill without any of the things like that. We do have a Trap Dushoot we need to re-roll at the end because that card is banned. And then I think most of the rest of the stuff we have. Just check. Ray of Revealing Light, I believe, is new. Yes, that is our first copy of Ray of Revealing Light. We do have Destiny board now. The Karibo's cute, but I don't think we'll play it the rest of the stuff we already have. So let's go ahead and move on to our second pack. Another Karibo, another Destiny board, and now we get a Tremendous Fire. I don't think that's going to change anything about playing Chainburn next time, but that is our first copy, believe it or not, of Tremendous Fire. We got a Yatagarasu, too. Wow, I just noticed that we got Yata. We might actually be able to do something with that. Gemini Elf isn't bad either as a 1900 normal summon. That is our second one of those. We have a Thunder Dragon. Did we already have a playset of that? No, that is our second Thunder Dragon, so we'll be able to use that. We got another Karibo, so that's our second one of those. A Toon Table I don't think is going to be too terribly useful, especially not if we can't get access to some of the later sets that have it. But we did get a Yatagarasu. That's pretty sick. I might be able to make use of that. We'll have to see. But we do have one more pack coming. I would like to see a Graceful Charity. We got a Thunder Dragon. Oh, we got a Fiber Jar. Oh my god, that's so sweet. I might have to troll Demon with this. And that might actually bring some life into our burn deck, because that's a draw 5 as well. I think we might have to play the burn deck next time, because we got a Fiber Jar out of DB2. We didn't get a lot of the stuff I was looking for, but we did get enough to actually make this deck work, I think. A Magic Reflector, that's our third copy of that. The third Thunder Dragon, like I said before, is good. And the rest of the stuff we have, but wow. That's pretty sick. So those are some pretty strong cards. I think we might have to just try to make this burn deck work. But we do have 2 more commons that we need to open out of Dark Beginning 2, so I'm going to open this pack and then take the first 2 commons and we'll add them to the collection to replace the trap dust shoots. See what we get. And another Reckless Greed. I think we already have 3 Reckless Greed, though. Yes, we had 3 Reckless Greed, so unfortunately those commons are no good. But I'm pretty happy with these pickups from DB2. I wouldn't mind rolling this one more time because it does rotate out after Strike of Neos, which is our next set. And we're going to have a lot to discuss because a Strike of Neos and the time around it was a very active year for Yu-Gi-Oh! Releases. And that'll wrap it up for today's episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Series. Join us next time when we open Strike of Neos, a pretty heavily impactful set. Until then, see you around.